Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Arsenal set to give £50,000 a week player one more season to show what he can do. Arsenal are set to give playmaker Emile Smith Rowe one more season to show what he can do. That's according to journalist James McNicholas speaking on the Arsecast Podcast. It's been a frustrating season for Emile Smith Rowe at the Emirates. Arsenal's number 10 didn't manage to make a single start in the Premier League throughout the campaign. His fitness proved to be a huge stumbling block to making an impact on an exciting season for the Gunners. The 22-year-old is really highly rated at the club and has been training in a new position this season. However, Arsenal can't afford to keep the £50,000 a week playmaker at the club if he is not going to be fit enough to contribute. His favorite role in the side would likely be playing just behind Gabriel Jesus. However, Martin Odegaard is now a club captain and had an unbelievable season. He can also play out wide, but Gabriel Martinelli and Leandro Trossard are already vying for a place on the left wing. It makes sense for Arsenal to give Smith Rowe another season to prove his worth. The England international has huge potential but needs minutes and much sharpness to prove it. Speaking about the 22-year-old's future, McNicholas said, "From what I hear, the coaching staff basically feel that it's fair and right to give him a chance at a season without injury and see what he can do." There have been suggestions that Smith Rowe might be sold this summer to raise money to sign Declan Rice. Given his age, home ground status, and international recognition, he would likely fetch quite a large fee. However, Mikel Arteta is keen to give Smith Rowe another chance at Arsenal next season. Their Champions League campaign means Arteta will have to rotate more than he did this year. That should give Smith Rowe more opportunities as long as he can stay fit. His injury would have been incredibly frustrating and are the last thing a young player needs when still developing. Smith Rowe's cameo against Wolves on the final day will offer him hope that his future does remain at the Emirates in the long run. Journalist shares when £25 million Arsenal player realized he might need to leave this summer. Arsenal defender Kieran Tierney may leave the club this summer after a frustrating season at the Emirates. Journalist James McNicholas has shared his thoughts on the Scottish international's future. Kieran Tierney could well be on his way out of Arsenal in the upcoming transfer window. He's been linked with a move to Newcastle after dropping down the pecking order at Arsenal. Brought in from Celtic for £25 million, Tierney was Arsenal's first choice left back for 3 seasons. Injuries curtailed all of those campaigns, but the signing of Zinchenko had a much bigger impact on his minute. The Ukrainian allowed Mikel Arteta to play a different system where he drifted into midfield. However, when he was unavailable, Arteta didn't always turn to Tierney to replace him. McNicholas has highlighted the moment Tierney may have realized he needed to leave Arsenal. He is still highly rated within the fan base, but it's understandable that he may want to go if he is not playing regularly. McNicholas said, "I still think the selection of Tomiyasu ahead of him earlier in the season was probably one of the moments where Kieran Tierney thought, I might need to think about going somewhere else." Mikel Arteta experimented with several different players in the fullback areas. Ben White spent most of the season at right back, meaning Takahiro Tomiyasu could occasionally be used on the left. Towards the end of the season, both Thomas Partey and Jakub Kiwior were also tested as wide defenders. Tierney appeared in 27 league games, but the vast majority were from the bench. As well as in Newcastle, Unai Emery is considering signing Tierney if he decides to leave Arsenal. Mikel Arteta won't want to be left short of fullback options and is unlikely to have been convinced by Kiwior's cameos in that role. The Gunners therefore have to decide if they want to spend more money on replacing Tierney or keep him as a backup instead. With the likes of Declan Rice and Moses Caicedo likely to be very expensive signings, Tierney may only be allowed to leave if they receive a very good offer. The Scot might have to force his way out of the club if he is desperate to play more games next season. Arsenal making positive progress in talks to tie Star down to new contract. Arsenal are reportedly making positive progress on agreeing a new contract for star defender William Saliba. The France international has been a revelation at the Emirates Stadium this season, returning from loan at Marseille and going straight into Mikel Arteta's starting lineup on a regular basis. Saliba ended up being a hugely important player for Arsenal as they surprisingly challenged for the title, with their form really falling apart after he got injured. So, Gunners fans will be relieved to hear Football London reporting that things seem to be going well in terms of getting Saliba to sign a new contract and commit his future to the club. The report states that both the player and the club seem to be on the same page in wanting to extend his deal. So things seem to be moving in the right direction. It would surely be close to impossible for Arsenal to replace Saliba if he were to leave, as there can't be many better young centre backs in world football right now. The 22-year-old looks like being a crucial part of Arsenal's future, and fans will hope there can be further positive developments soon. Fabrizio Romano delivers Ruben Navas update amid Arsenal links. Arsenal have been linked with the Premier League midfielder Ruben Navas, and Fabrizio Romano has provided an update on where he wants to move this summer. Arsenal, as well as Manchester United, have been reportedly interested in the Portuguese international, but the big worry for Arsenal is Barcelona, as they reportedly want the player as well. Apparently, Neves is very likely to leave this summer. It makes a lot of sense as the contract of the 26-year-old expires next summer. Wolves do not want to lose the £45 million rated ace on a free transfer next summer, so it looks like their best option is to allow him to leave this summer. Arsenal want to challenge for the title again next season, and bringing in more quality like Neves would help them do this. Whilst providing an update on the future of Ruben Neves, Romano tweeted, Ruben Neves is waiting and will wait for Barcelona. Personal terms agreed since the end of April with his agent Mendes. Time to wait as Barca can't proceed now due to FFP, not a priority for Xavi. Neves has been sensational for Wolves. He will most definitely be a big loss for them. It's no doubt a negative update for Arsenal as Barcelona are clearly winning the race. It's hard to compete with Barcelona as they are such a historically big club. This is even harder when the Spanish giant have just won the La Liga title. Arsenal, no doubt, have other targets with midfielders Declan Rice and Moses Caicedo, both heavily linked to the Gunners. Arsenal are now set to complete signing of amazing player for just £17 million this week. Arsenal will reportedly complete the signing of Sacha Bowie from Galatasaray this week. The summer transfer window doesn't officially open for another week, but the Gunners are already busy in talks with the clubs to sign or sell players. Turkish outlet Takvim have now shared the latest on Arsenal's interest in Sacha Bowie, and if they are to be believed, the Frenchman will become a Gunner very soon. Arsenal are on the market looking for a new fullback this summer. Mikel Arteta's side have been linked with the likes of Ivan Fresneda and Joao Cancelo, who are both excellent options, but it looks like the Gunners have paid heed to Bakary Sagna's advice. The Frenchman claimed over a month ago that the amazing Sacha Boey would fit perfectly at Arsenal and urged Arteta to sign him this summer. Now, Takvim claims that after Arsenal's opening bid of £15.5 million was rejected, the Gunners and Galatasaray have scheduled a meeting this week to get a deal done. It has been claimed that the two sides are set to shake hands over a £17.2 million deal that would see Bowie become an Arsenal player in the coming days. Bowie played 33 times for Galatasaray this season and helped them win the Turkish league title. Sacha Bowie is a very interesting option for Arsenal. The 22-year-old has had a very good campaign in Turkey with Galatasaray. It was always only a matter of time before he left them for a bigger club, and Arsenal have been linked with him for a while now. However, with Ivan Fresneda reportedly available for the same price or lesser, we feel the Gunners should sign the Spaniard instead of the Galatasaray star. But if Sagna thinks Bowie is amazing, he probably is, and that may well be one of the reasons why Arsenal are interested in signing him this summer. Fabrizio Romano claims Arsenal want to sign £35 million star who is one of the best in the world. Fabrizio Romano has provided an update on the future of Arsenal target Joao Cancelo. The Gunners have been linked with the Manchester City ace for a number of weeks now. Arsenal will want to bolster their ranks for another Premier League title challenge, as well as their Champions League return. The Gunners had some problems at fullback last season, and Kieran Tierney is now being linked with a move away. Meanwhile, Cancelo's future at Man City is uncertain. He spent the second half of last season on loan at Bayern München. Spanish outlet Sport has reported that the 29-year-old could leave this summer for around €40 million. As well as Arsenal, the likes of Barcelona are apparently in pursuit of Cancelo. Romano, speaking on Give Me Sport, spoke about interest in the Portuguese from the Gunners and the Camp Nou. He said, "For Barcelona, everything is slow because of the financial situation, the Messi priority, and the La Liga conversation for financial fair play. Barcelona can't sign Cancelo this week, for example, but if this is a slow deal, Barcelona will be there for sure. Cancelo is on Barcelona and Arsenal's list. When a player of Cancelo's quality become reportedly available, there will always be a lot of interest, as well as the Gunners and Barca, the likes of Bayern München and Real Madrid, are reportedly also in pursuit, according to 90 Minute. Cancelo, who was hailed as one of the best fullbacks in the world, would be a huge signing for Arsenal. However, City will have a big decision to make regarding Cancelo's future. Do they sell him to Arsenal for maximum income and risk strengthening a direct Premier League title rival? Or do they offload Cancelo to a continental giant but for a potentially lower fee, installments and or loan to buy? Arsenal are still leading the race to sign £70 million player. They are not worried at all. Dini Jones claims that Arsenal are not worried about Bayern München's interest in West Ham United star Declan Rice. The journalist has told Give Me Sport that Arsenal are still in the best position to land Rice ahead of the summer. Mikel Arteta looks set to bolster his squad over the summer after the Gunners missed out on the Premier League title to Manchester City. The midfield looks set to be a key area for Arsenal, with the Granit Xhaka seemingly nearing a move to Bayer Leverkusen. The Gunners had already been heavily linked with a move for Rice ahead of the summer and have been touted as the favourites to sign him. Of course, Bayern München have expressed an interest of late, with Sky Sports Germany's Uli Kohler claiming that Rice has even spoken to Thomas Tuchel on the phone. Yet, it seems that Arsenal are still leading the race to sign the 24-year-old, despite interest from the Bundesliga giants. Jones shared an update on Arsenal's interest in Rice and claimed they are not worried about Bayern. He said, "They are not that worried about the interest from Bayern München from everything I hear. Arsenal have been in this conversation behind the scenes using intermediaries for a while now. They are in the best position to move things forward." Arsenal will be keen to wrap up a deal to sign Rice sooner rather than later to avoid missing out. He is seemingly keen on a switch to the Emirates Stadium, but the Gunners still need to agree a fee with the Hammers. West Ham are expected to demand a hefty fee for the England international, despite suggestions he could move for around £70 million. Arsenal will need to guard against complacency when it comes to snapping a price, especially with the likes of Bayern sniffing around. The Gunners were also confident they would land Mykhailo Mudryk back in January, but eventually missed out to Chelsea. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.